Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to my live stream. In this live stream, we are going to do a quick unboxing of a CGC package that mysteriously arrived today. I think that I know what it is, but to be honest with you, I am not certain. So we're going to open this thing up and actually see what's inside, and then if it's what I think it is, I'll be able to tell a little bit of story behind what I think it might be. The other thing that we're going to do in this video is this is essentially going to serve as a support video for my buddy JD. JD gave me a really wonderful sketch back there, and he is also an amazing member of this comic book community. He is doing a thankful contest, which I think is really cool, especially because it ties into Thanksgiving. I was actually thinking of doing a similar idea myself, but he beat me to the punch, and so I wanted to record a little something to support his efforts because he supports this channel and supports me personally. So I want to take a little bit of time to talk about that. But before we get to those things, I want to see who's all in the chat here. So we have just a couple of people that have joined. I'm definitely on a lot later than I normally am, and I did not give anyone advance notice that I was going to do this. But want to say a quick hello to Gorilla. It's good to see you, bud. I was in there a few moments ago having a conversation with my wife for like the last hour and decided to come do this live stream real quick because I knew that this box was sitting here waiting and I wanted to pop it open. So if you guys are not following JD, I highly encourage you to go by and check it out. This dude has a pretty solid collection. You know, he does videos and he shows all these crazy books, but in the background are all these amazing books, and it's just like you're overwhelmed, right? He has a pretty solid collection. One of the very first videos I watched of him was like a Thanos video, and all I ended up doing was watching the video, pausing the video, going to eBay and trying to buy the stuff that he was showing that I wanted that I didn't have. That's the kind of videos that this dude puts out. So if you get a chance and if you want to spend some money and maybe earn some eBay bucks, definitely go by and check out JD. But as part of his contest, he is basically asking people to do a video in which they talk about what they are thankful for. And I honestly have a very long list of things that I'm thankful for, but I want to keep it to two things. The first thing is I wanted to say just how thankful I am for this community as a whole. And I've spoken about this many, many, many times and will continue to speak about how this community embraced me when I first started recording videos in my kitchen, in my old house. Very horrible videos. People still watch those videos and encourage me to record more and to share more and to come out of my shell, at least as it relates to comic books. Because up until the time at which I recorded my first videos for YouTube, I had never really spoken publicly about comics at all. That wasn't my thing. I had a lot of stigma from like childhood where it wasn't cool to talk about comics. It wasn't cool to know comics. And so I carried that over into adulthood. And so when I started recording videos on YouTube, that was honestly the first time that I actually said certain characters' names out loud. And I did it and was well received by this community, and I am very thankful for that. As part of that, what I've always said is that this community allows what could be a very lonely, isolating hobby. It allows you to have some freedom, to have some friends, to be included, because just about any time of the day, you can have a conversation with another person about comics on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. And I literally do it every single day, all day. I literally talk to comic guys all day long. And I am thankful for those friendships. I'm thankful for those interactions. And so for all the people that watch these videos, my videos, that comment on my videos, that send me text messages, that send me Instagram messages, I am thankful for every last one of you because you make this so much fun. So thank you. The second thing that I'm thankful for, and probably the first thing, is my wife. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. I cannot say enough things about her, and it must be true because she's never going to watch this video. So I am saying this stuff to you guys because she'll probably never hear it. But I am very thankful for my wife for so many things. One of the things that I'm thankful for as it relates to comic books is that when I stopped competing as a bodybuilder, she recognized that I had a lot of free time. And she recognized that that free time needed to be channeled somewhere. And so she actually encouraged me to start collecting comics again. She encouraged me to catalog my collection and to start going to comic shops and things like that. And as in support of that, she actually went out and bought me a collection, a very large collection. It was a collection that was actually larger than my own collection. And so it took me quite some time to kind of work my way through it and to see what was there and to sort through what I had versus what this guy had that she ended up buying for me. But fast forward a couple of months and my collection has continued to grow. I've started a YouTube channel and that has been well received, and she is still just as supportive today as she was before. She allowed me to have my own comic book room, but I'm super thankful for her, and like I said, I'm super thankful for every single person that watches this video. So let me get caught up with the chat here. A few more people have joined here. John's Comics with Kids is here. Thank you, brother. I missed your live chat. I apologize. I was actually talking to the wife at the time, so I'm gonna try to watch it on replay. I caught like the tail end of it, so I'll try to watch it on replay. Brett Hess Art is here. How you doing, Brett? Dan Bull is here. How you doing? Yeah, brother. I did not do the Berkeley Comic-Con. This was like the first weekend where we actually didn't have anything to do, and I decided to spend the time with the family here at the house. So I'm sure you get that. But yeah, hopefully the next one I'll be able to make it. Brett Hess says the whole comic book community is what my 10-year-old self imagined in 1979. Well said, brother. Well said, because that is exactly it. That is exactly it. Well, I'll have to watch it on replay, John, to kind of see what you guys said. So I did, however, have an opportunity to watch. I watched Thanatos' chat earlier today when I was driving home from work, and he kind of talked about the Green Lantern book that I think you guys talked about on tonight's book club. And I actually ordered the book. I sent a message to my guy at one of the shops and said, set one aside for me because I am going to buy that book. So I'm going to try to check it out. Who else is here? Omega Comics, how you doing? TJ Watson, how you doing? TJ Watson, the only thing that you've missed, brother, is me rambling on giving thanks for the comic book community and for my wife as part of my support for JD and his thankful contest that he's giving or doing. He's actually encouraging people to record videos and to talk about what they are actually thankful for. So the two things that I cited out of the many things that I am thankful for is the comic book community that has embraced me and my wife who loves me unconditionally. So those were the two things that I cited. Dre Boogie, how you doing? Yes, brother, I am getting a DC book. Here's the thing. Thanatos sold the heck out of that book. He really did. He sold the heck out of that book. Halfway through the video, I was like, I'm sold. I sent my guy a message and I was saying, put one to the side for me because I'm going to buy it and I'm going to read it and I'm going to do a video on it. That's how serious I am about this thing. So I'm going to be lost with Green Lantern 1. Possibly. He said it wasn't a cosmic adventure. He said it was a more grounded kind of adventure. So I thought it might be a good entry point for me. That's why I thought I did it, because he sold it as such. So maybe that's not the case. Maybe I should have joined the book club instead of watching Thanatos. Stop my beating heart. Give us a chance. I don't know if he saw my comments, Omega Comics. I actually posted it on his stream, but he might have been asleep by the time he actually read it. So, but I am going to get the book, not this weekend, but maybe the weekend after or the week after, and I am going to read it and I'm going to report back on it. So here's what's cool. The cool thing is, if you guys have watched my What Was Uncle Thinking videos, I think there are 3 of them, maybe 4. I am actually headed back to see that collection one more time. and I'm going back this weekend. I only made it about halfway through that collection, so I am super pumped that I've been invited to come back. I am going to head up there on Friday, and Saturday. I'm going to head up on Saturday, and I'm going to spend Sunday there going through boxes. And my hope is to record a series of videos highlighting the things that I pick up. So fingers crossed that I find some good stuff. But that's why I won't be able to get the Green Lantern 1 this weekend, because I am headed north to root through 200 of 400 long boxes. So definitely pumped about that. Randy, how you doing, brother? The comic community on here is great. Just found your channel about a week ago, and I love it. Welcome to the channel, brother. We like to have some fun on this channel. We like to be positive. We like to share some information and have a robust discussion. So I'm glad that you are enjoying yourself. If you need anything, if you have questions about anything, brother, just let me know. Generally speaking, if you leave a comment, I reply to your comment. To me, that is like the courteous thing to do. I'm the guy that if you call my phone, I pick up, because that's just how I am. So welcome to the channel, Randy. Glad that you found us. Please let me know if you need anything. Omega Comics says Green Lantern 1 will be a good entry book. By Batman White Knight 1 through 8, then take it from there. Brother, no, let's not get carried away, okay? Omega, let's not get carried away, brother, all right? So we're going to start with one DC book, specifically a Green Lantern book. We're going to read it, and then we'll see what happens after that, all right? Not going with Batman, brother. I can't do that. Can't do it. White Wolf Comics, brother, I am looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens. Tony Sanders, I'm glad you enjoyed the What Was Uncle Thinking series. It was a fun series, man. Like the first video, I felt like I was making a movie, right? Because in the first video, I actually didn't show any books, but what I was trying to do was to like take you guys with me on the journey to the books. And then I think the 3 videos after that, or the 2 videos after it, were the books, right? But it was more about like, let me take you on this journey, you know, because I thought that would be fun. So hopefully, if you guys haven't seen it, you'll have a chance to check that video series out, because it is a fun one. See, John's Comments with Kids is now saying I should read Batman Year 1. You guys are killing me. I'm gonna read one book, okay? Let's not get carried away. One book, that's it. One, all right? And then we'll see what happens. Dre Boogie talking about, come on, Reg. Nah, man. I did try to read Kingdom Come, because you dudes told me Kingdom Come was a good read. Kingdom Come was painful. It was painful is what it was. No, I tried to read it. It was too much. And I think a single issue, single character book, #1 is probably a good entry point for me. So I'll read it. And what I'm really trying to do is I'm really trying to remain open-minded to DC, because I honestly have nothing against DC books, on their characters, the writers, none of that stuff. And for me, when I talk about DC, honestly, I'm just having fun. That's all that it is. And hopefully everybody knows that, because none of it is serious. So I'm just having some fun. But I am going to try to read that book when I have an opportunity, and we'll take it from there. We'll see what we can do, you know. John's Comments with Kids says his wife actually watched those uncle videos, and she never watches videos. That's cool. My wife actually just watched one of my videos as well. She watched the Thanatosis and I comic war video, and she sat there and laughed the whole time. And I'm like, babe, I have fun on camera, you know? So I think she had a blast watching on replay, because she doesn't really know what happens inside this room. So I think it was cool for her to have it on the TV and watch it. She also told me my camera was really bad, because for my videos and for my live streams, I use one iPad, and for when I have to use Google Hangouts, I have to use my Mac, and it has a black rim around the border, which covers the camera, which makes it appear very dark and grainy. So there you go. White Wolf Comics is also voting for Batman Year 1. Yeah. The uncle videos were like Storage Wars. Yeah, they were like, it was like Storage Wars, brother. I am like 6 feet, and I was literally up to my neck in comics for as far as the eye could see. So Because it is a storage facility, I'm actually going to dress a little bit warmer than the last time I went, and I'll be better prepared. And if you guys didn't catch this in one of my previous videos, there may be a really cool surprise that is going to be made available for the comic book community as part of my trip. So fingers crossed that I'll be able to share some news with you guys where you will be able to participate in what Uncle was thinking. Let's just put it that way. Love Marvel, like you guys trying to read. Omega Comics is making some comments here about the cosmic videos that I've been putting together. Brother, I am on a roll with those cosmic videos. I gotta tell you, I really enjoy that cosmic stuff. So I think I want to say I probably have like 4 or 5 more videos in the can, like ready to go, just about cosmic characters. And I think I'm releasing like 1 per week. So definitely more to come with the cosmic characters. And I think what's great about many of them is that you know, if something comes from the cosmic character as far as like MCU, great. If nothing comes from it, then you have a really cool issue featuring the first appearance of a cool character, you know? And so in my book, if you like comics for the sake of liking comics, that's great, right? It's a win. If you like comics for the sake of potentially making some money, I mean, there is that potential there too, but there's no guarantee with any of this stuff, you know? And that's why, for me, I buy the books because I think they're fun to read, you know? Like right now, I'm reading The Origin of the Beyonder. So I just released a video on the Beyonder because I think he's a cool character, and now I'm actually reading his origin. I've scanned his origin before, different things, than the retcons I've read, but never his true origin. So I'm actually enjoying that book as we speak. So... all right, fellas. Hey, Omega Comics. Good night, brother. Good night, brother. Thank you for jumping on. I said that I was going to keep this thing light, and then all of a sudden I started running my mouth. Omega Comics, don't give away my secrets, brother. More videos are coming. Don't give away my secrets. That's all I'm saying to you. And I am thankful to you for hooking me up with some of that stuff. But that video is coming, my friend. It is coming. All right, so Madam Web is involved with the Beyonder. Oh, shoot. RB3 just got here. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, RB3. All right, so, a couple of other things. We are doing Comic Wars again on November 12th. I confirmed with Matt that we are scheduled to do Comic Wars on his channel, so stay tuned for that. And as of right now, I have 4 of my 5 books already ready to go. So he is about to take another loss, I'm gonna tell you, because the books that I've picked up, they are good books. So if you guys don't know about Comic Wars, definitely check out the videos on that. But it's a fun night, right? As I mentioned to Randy, I like to have fun, and that's exactly what we've been doing when we do trivia night. We have fun. Comic Wars is about having fun. These live feeds are about having fun. We try to share some knowledge, but we also like to have a little fun because, after all, this is comics. So we don't want to forget that. All right? Yeah, man. Comic Wars is going down. It is going down. So hopefully, same time, hopefully around 7:30, 8 o'clock on Monday, the 12th of November is when it'll happen. And then we may try to squeeze another one in before Thanksgiving. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see how work schedules go. Ruben, how you doing, brother? Thank you for the wonderful comments. So another thing I'll say is I released a video today on like what makes for a good grading company. And a lot of people have responded to the video. They've, watched the video. They put comments in. I'm super thankful for that. A lot of people are apologizing because they put up really long posts. And I think the really long posts are great, right? Because this whole thing is about facilitating a discussion around what is it that we really need from grading companies. And I created this video for a purpose because there is somebody that is actually watching those videos and watching those comments and listening to what it is that you were saying. And again, in hopefully a couple of weeks, there will be an announcement that will happen and where all of this will make sense. If you guys look at what I do, I operate in themes. I have an idea, and then I run with that idea, and you see it kind of pulled through multiple videos, and it all kind of makes sense. there is a theme, there is a thread here if you pay attention. All right, so let's pop this thing open. TJ Watson says that was a great post. I appreciate that, TJ. Literally watching that video when I went live. Yeah, so it was a fun video to make, man, because, and what was cool is that before I recorded the video, like I wrote out my list, and my list was a really long list at first. And I started asking myself, like, do I really want to create a video in which I list off 20 things that would make for the perfect grading company, right? Knowing that perfection doesn't exist. No one can do 20 things right? It's impossible. So I really forced myself to really boil the list down to the things that were truly, truly important. Like I went so far as to like look up major hub areas in the country to make a recommendation that, for example, that a grading company be located in, I think it was Memphis, because Memphis has a FedEx facility that is located right there, like a main hub for FedEx. Like that's how far I went to do my research. And I realized, you know what? That's a little bit too far. That's a little bit too detailed, right? So I compiled my list, and then I reached out to a couple of friends, a couple of people to say, hey, pressure test my thinking. If you had to pick two things that were the most important to you from a grading company perspective, what would they be? And there were some gives and puts, but generally speaking, when I did my market research, I felt like the list of 5 things or so that I had put together covered the vast majority of what I was hearing from the guys that I reached out to. So I had the good feeling that what I was saying was going to resonate. But again, it's all about having a dialogue, because maybe there's some things that we didn't think about. Like DS Comics brought up the fact that if you do UV protection, that there is the potential, and I don't know if he knows this, but it kind of makes sense, that there may have to be a tent to the slab to provide that UV protection. And I don't know if that's true or not, but it kind of sort of makes sense. I didn't think about that. So it was cool. Put it out there, got a little bit of feedback and insight, which I thought was awesome of him. So that's what this is all about, is about having a little bit of discussion. Ruben says he's lucky. He's in Florida, so when he sends his book out, they're right on time because they're right there. They probably just drive it over to you. Jay Perry, how you doing, brother? So I received today a box from, speaking of Florida, Ruben, from Sarasota, from Communications Parkway. And I think I know what's in here. But we're going to open this thing up and chat to see what is indeed inside this box. And as I look at the back of it, I think I know it is what I think it is. So we'll pull this open and see what magic was made. All right. So what's inside of here is Wolverine Volume 3, number 66. This is a 9.8 with white pages. This is the Old Man Logan storyline. This is where it begins, and it is a really cool wraparound cover. So why do I have this book? What happened is that I had a copy of this book, and I bought a collection, and the collection had another copy of it. So I decided to send both copies of Wolverine Volume 3, number 66 in. And the books came back from CGC. I unboxed them live. You can even watch the video. I unboxed it live. And it wasn't until like a couple of days later that I looked at them again, side by side, and realized that they had different labels. Same book, different label. For one of them, this one, it was a 9.8 white pages, but they gave it the reprint label. So I guess there was like a reprint of this book. This book was originally published in 2008. There was a reprint done in 2010. This book had been given the 2010 label. So I actually took photos of the two books side by side, sent an email off to CGC, and it was like, hey, I think you guys made a mistake. Like, can we talk about this thing? They took a couple of days. I think it might have been like a week. I sent them another message like, hey, I think you guys made a mistake. I just want to touch base and see what's up. They responded back. We checked with the graders, and yes, indeed, there was a mistake made on your book. A customer service person said, send the book back, address it to me. I will take care of it and fix it. And I basically completed the paperwork that they provided, and I sent the book back in. And they actually re-slabbed the book for me with the proper label. I sent this in on 9/22, and the book just came back to me just now with the proper label. So definitely a cool thing. Took a little bit of while for them to do it, and at various points I actually forgot the book was even out, but it just came back today. So definitely pleased to have this back in the collection so I can add it with the other matching book in my boxes. So, all right, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Yeah, they did correct the error. Yeah, they did correct the error, White Well. So, yeah, they just screwed up and put the reprint label on there. So I'm glad that they fixed it. I don't know what this is. They actually put a trusted consignment seller, Sparkle City Comics. Why would I want to consign my book to someone else when I can just sell it myself on eBay? Whatever. All right, so a couple of other things I want to bring to you guys' attention. My buddy and I, White Well Comics, who is in the room right now, Alec and I have teamed up to do a 2-part video that we are going to be releasing tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific time. So I have part 1 that's coming out, and he is doing part 2, or vice versa, who knows. But what we're going to be talking about is the differences between 9.8s and 9.6s. And so it's a pretty cool video series. I actually haven't watched Alex's video yet. Keeping it like a little bit of a surprise for myself, but we had a robust discussion, and we had an exchange about 9.8s and 9.6s, and decided to record these videos. And so I haven't seen his, he's only seen like bits and pieces of mine. But it was a fun little project to work on with Alex, so I'm hoping that you guys will support us and check those videos out. They are being released tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific time, so get a chance to check them out. Steve Rogers is here. Darwin is in the house. Count Von Strange, that's a heck of a name. Welcome to everybody to the chat. So again, if you guys get a chance, be sure to check out the 2 videos that White Well Comics and I are going to be releasing. We both have links to one another's videos, so regardless of where you enter, you should be able to connect to the other person's video to check it out. And like White Well, I am excited to see what he's put together. He sent me a video of his thumbnail, or a photo of his thumbnail, and it made me go back and rework my thumbnail, because Alec is a creative dude. Like, if you haven't watched his videos where he talks about like the various artists that are out there and like their creative styles, he is an artistic dude. He actually sent me a drawing as well, which is incredible. If you have not seen that video, you may want to watch this one. He sent me a fantastic AOK featuring Galactus and Silver Surfer. But he's a talented dude. So he put together this thumbnail that made my thumbnail look like crap. So I went back and reworked mine a little, and it looks slightly better. Not as good as his. But definitely looking forward to seeing his video in its entirety, and to kind of see how these 2 halves kind of fit together, because he looked at it from one aspect, I looked at it from another, and he and I have different takes on things generally, but they complement one another. And what I didn't want to do, I didn't want to watch his video and then record my video and have too much of him come through me into the video. I wanted it to be a little bit more organic. And that's part of the reason why I didn't like watch his video or give him too much of my video, because I wanted it to be an organic thing, to see how we could make it fit together from the different, our different perspectives. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how it unfolds. So Comic Book NYC, brother, you didn't miss all that much. You didn't miss all that much. Brother, White Well Comments, you always think your videos are weird. They're fine. They're super creative. They're always well done. Big Will, how you doing? Big Will's in the house. Wow, there are a lot of new faces here. So Jay Perry is saying 9.8 versus 9.6 is a pretty cool video concept. And here's the thing, and I don't want to give too much of it away, but let's just say yes, it is an interesting concept. He and I were, White Well and I were having this discussion, and we decided to record it. We decided to take our own advice, do some research, and then record it and put it out there for you guys to consider. And if you think about it, what he and I just did with the 9.8s is really no different, not really, from the question that I asked you guys today in my video about, what is it that you need from a grading company? Like, really, what is it that you need from a grading company? And it's really no different from the previous videos that I've released where, I talk about some of the moves that CGC is taking and how that might impact the market, specifically CBCS, how it might affect competition. And so there is definitely a theme here. And it's unintentionally, but intentionally leading to something. And let's just say that if you were to watch tomorrow's video that I'm releasing, there may be an Easter egg in that video, right? Let's just say that. So there may be something interesting embedded in the video. So if you have a chance, watch it because I think it's really cool content, but it may also give you a heads up to something really cool that might be coming. I would say if you watch the video and you see it, don't give it away for everybody else, right? Just make a comment. I see it. I got it, right? Message me privately on Instagram. Don't give it away for everybody because I want people to kind of see it on their own or not see it, right? Because that'll tell us a lot. So, 23, how you doing, brother? Comic Lover Omega, hey man, just wondering, are you a CGC guy or do you do other grading companies? Reggie still got that ASM 100 or 200. So, yeah, Gorilla, I still have that book. Yeah, it's the 100. It's the ASM 100 5.0, I think. I still have that for sale. I may actually put this one up for sale too. I haven't decided yet. I may put this one up for sale. This is the Wolverine Volume 3, number 66. Started the Old Man Logan. May put that one up. So Comic Lover Omega, to answer your question, I only do CGC up until this point. So when I got back into comics a little over a year ago, probably almost like November of last year, I did a lot of research where I was looking at the various grading companies. I was looking at PGX and CBCS and CGC. And I started to kind of ask myself, which grading company do I want to go with? Because I didn't really know anything about grading companies. They didn't have this stuff back in the early 2000s when I was collecting last. And they certainly didn't have it, at least to my knowledge, in the 90s when I was collecting. So this whole slabbing thing was like foreign to me. So I had to learn it. So I did a lot of research, kind of thinking my way through, do I want to do it? Is it worth it? Why would I do it? How would I do it? Who would I go with? What are the differences between the services? And I watched a lot of videos where people were debating the different slabs and the different grading services. And, this person grades harder versus this one. This one's more consistent than the other. I spent a lot of time doing that research. And for me, it actually came down to, the fact that CBCS actually did not charge a membership fee at the time that I was considering it, but they offered signature verification. And they almost got my business because of that. And I think I waited like one more week because I was like in no rush, right? I mean, I was like in no rush to slab a book because I was still struggling with the idea of like my raw books, but I have raw books. I've always had raw books. Do I really need slabs? And how is that going to work? And so I waited like another week or so, and CBCS then put a membership in place. At least I think that's correct. At least you guys hold me true on that. They put a membership in place, and so it was kind of like, well, why would I go with them just for signature verification, right? Because it was almost like an apple versus an apple at that point, right? Both had membership fees, both had pluses and minuses, both had consistency, this, that, and the other. And I just ultimately decided that I was going to go with, in my opinion, the industry leader, and that was CGC. So that's what I ended up doing, and I honestly have not turned away from that. I have not turned away from CGC, and that's not to say that they're perfect. It's not to say that they don't make mistakes, as evidenced by this book right here that they put a reprint label on, and it's not a reprint. It's not to say that Newton rings don't exist, right? It's not to say that they don't have issues with turnaround time from time to time and blah, 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 blah. It's the company that I decided to go with, and I haven't looked back since. I don't regret the decision. And that's not to say anything bad about CBCS or PGX, that, people have preferences, people have allegiances and loyalties, and That's the team that I decided to roll with. But now, in that same vein, that does not mean a couple of things. That does not mean that I won't use another grading service in the future, because I might, right? I've done lots of videos in which I talk about the importance of competition in the marketplace, because I believe that competition is important. Competition keeps things fair for the consumer. Anytime any one thing dominates something, that potentially it goes bad for the consumer. So I am a big fan of competition, and so I want PGX to survive. I want CBCS to do well. I would love to see another company come into the market, right, and offer something different, right? And that's part of the reason why I created the video that I did about the grading companies. Why not have another grading company come in that potentially offers us a slab with UV protection, right? That comes into the market, and I don't know, that has the transparency that we all say that we want, and the customer service, and the person that picks up the phone when we have a question, right? That's what we're talking about, right? We're saying that that's what's important to us. So maybe there is room for someone else to come into the market and do that. So that's the longest answer ever, I swear. Thanks, TJ Watson. And yeah, Gorilla, just send me a message, brother. We can always talk. We can always talk. I blame you. So Omega Comics Lover said, I don't blame you. I love CGC. Now that they've changed their cases, they're sturdier, and I would agree. I think their cases are great. They feel good in my hand. They kind of interlock in place, which I think is great versus having slabs slide. But people say really wonderful things about the CBCS slabs, and I have a couple of them. I think they're older ones. I can't say anything negative about them, to be honest with you. I've never held a PGX slab. But one of the things I was actually thinking about was, do I want to send books into the various grading companies to really be able to evaluate them? My challenge with that is that, if you send an order in one time to someone, and if they get it right, then you praise them as being perfect, or you send it in, they mess it up, and then you're like they're garbage, right? In my opinion, you have to send multiple batches in to really, over time, to really be able to truly evaluate whether a company is good or bad, and I just don't have the desire to do that, and that's why I always say to people that you just have to do your own research to determine which company it is that you want to go with, that you want to support, right? And if you choose wrong, you can always change later. But my thing is not to say that CGC is the best or the only company that you should go with. That's not my gig. It's really not my gig. I never tell people what to do. I offer you things to consider so that you can decide. All right, so I just clicked off the chat here, so sorry about that. Let me see what else is going on in here. You guys are talking about Comic Tom. I lost a string of what that was all about, so I'm sure I'll catch up at some point. So I'll do a quick recap here, and then I'm going to go ahead and get myself out of here. It's getting a little bit later here. So a couple of things. I did a video. As part of this video, I wanted to do a little bit of a shout out for my buddy JD. JD, Jaydee. He is doing a thankful contest in which he asks us to do a video where we talk about what we're thankful for. And the two things that I cited was the comic book community as a whole, which has embraced me and supported me from my very first crappy video to now being at almost 1,300 subscribers. And, I don't know, lots of videos in at this point. I'm very thankful for all of the great people that I've interacted with, that send me messages, that I get a chance to just ask a question of. It makes it really cool for me, and it makes it fun that it's not just as me sitting here in my room with a bunch of books. I actually have friends out there that I can talk to. The other person that I was very thankful for, and again, I have a long list of things that I'm thankful for. I'm citing two, was my wife, who I think is just an amazing, supportive person who allows me to have a comic book room and to come in here and record these videos in which I'm talking to myself. But she also is the reason why I started collecting again. After I stopped bodybuilding, she pushed me into this. She bought me a collection, and she said, "You need a hobby, so go do that." And I have not looked back. So super thankful for her. But this is all in support of what JD is attempting to do. So shout out to JD. Give him a follow if you get a chance. The other thing that I did as part of this video is I gave people a heads up on a couple of things. Thanatos, Matt and I are going to be going live on his channel on November 12th to do our Comic Wars. This is the second Comic Wars that we've done. I have 4 of my 5 books already ready to go, and I'm telling you that these are awesome. These are some awesome comics that I'm super pumped about. If I lose, I'm going to be mad because there's several books in there that I really want to keep. So I'm hoping that I win and can keep those books for my collection because I really want them. So that is going down probably 7:30 to 8 o'clock on November 12th. We are thinking about trying to squeeze in a second event before Thanksgiving, so we'll see whether we can do that. Another announcement was that White Whale Comics and I are releasing a 2-part video series tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific time, and it is on the differences or similarities, between, if you will, between 9.8s and 9.6s. It's a pretty cool video series, and there is an Easter egg embedded in my video that I hope you guys will check out. So just watch it. If you see it, cool. Don't give it away, but make a comment that you saw it, right? And then if you want to chat a little bit more about it, feel free to message me and I will tell you what I can, which might not be a whole lot because the Easter egg is actually attached to some other cool stuff that is happening down the road that I will unveil for you guys soon enough. And then the last thing was I actually unboxed this book right here. This is Wolverine Volume 3, number 66. This is the start to the Old Man Logan series. This book was inadvertently given a reprint label by CGC, sent it back to them back in September. It just arrived today with the proper label because I think that reprint is worth $0 and this one is at least worth $1. So happy to have this 9.8 back. Actually, this is my second copy, so happy to have this back in the collection. And that is essentially it. We love comics. How you doing, brother? Brother, your timing. I don't know, Chris. I don't know about your timing, my friend. It's actually pretty still early here. I think it's pretty late for you there, but it's pretty early still here. So, does she know about you spending? RB3 is wondering if my wonderful wife knows that I spent $20,000 on AF-15 yet. No, brother. So what you do is you go into the settings of like the credit card or whatever you use to pay for that, and you set it to paperless. That way the statement is never actually seen by anyone other than the Google, the Gmail account. Yeah, Jay Perry, man. For me, brother, so much of this, man, just life in general, man. It's about experiences. It's about family. That's the stuff that's really important, you know. I've learned the hard way because we all have trials and tribulations in our lives. I've learned the hard way that that you know there are certain things that really aren't that important, right? And there are things that are pretty darn important that you work hard to protect and to take care of and to treasure, and you also say thank you as often as you can, you know, because you don't want to take those things for granted, brother. And I'm telling you, family is everything, brother. It really is. I had someone when I was younger. I was maybe 26, and this woman I met, she had several children. And she said to me, she was like, "Do you have kids?" And I said, "No." And she said, "No kids, no life." And I didn't appreciate that at the time. It's not like I have a great life, you know. But I took it to the extreme of what she was saying, and I think what she was saying was more that life is richer with children, with kids. With significant others that you love, you know. I think that's really what she was trying to say, or at least as I reflect upon it now, many years later, that's how I choose to hear that comment. But yeah, you know, I think life is a wonderful thing, and life can be made even better when you surround it and fill it with people that love you and that you love, you know. So this is a sentimental moment that we're having here. RBT, she hasn't seen. No, brother, she will never see this video. My wife, for the very first time, actually saw one of my videos. She actually, whenever she pulls up like YouTube for the kids to watch TV, they're always like, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." So she actually played one of the videos and watched it, and she sat there and laughed the whole time. And I'm like, "Babe, I have fun when I'm in this room, you know." So Jay Perry is saying Amazon archive order for the win. Bro, my wife orders like from Amazon like nobody's business. Stuff pops up, man. I don't even know where it comes from. So she's probably using that archive order feature too, so I don't see any of it. Because the first time I see it is when it's showing up at the front door. But Javier is saying, well said, Reggie, family is everything, brother. It is the truth. It is the truth. Um, yeah, my wife, she rarely even comes in the room, to be honest with you. If she does, she stands pretty much at the door. She never really comes into this area, which, I mean, she's more than welcome. It's just she has her area and she sees this as my area, which I think is really cool. My kids, I wish that they respected it as much. Yeah, but they don't. They don't. My kids don't respect it at all. My little ones like to climb on the the short boxes back there, so I'm constantly trying to get a kid off of a box and get them out of the room. But at some point, man, they will have all this stuff in this room. At least that's my hope. So anyway, I'm going to end this. I want to thank you guys as always for kind of hanging out with me. Hopefully what you've noticed, if you guys have been paying attention, is that I am really releasing a lot of content. I've been releasing videos pretty much Monday through Wednesday. This week, I think I'm going all the way to Friday. Next week, I may be going to Friday as well. So I'm producing more and more content with the hope that it is going to continue to be well received by you guys. Based upon the likes, based upon the thumbs up and all that kind of stuff, I think the content is continuing to resonate with people. So the one thing I want to say is if there are thoughts that you have about things that we might want to cover here or discuss here, never hesitate to send me a message or to make a recommendation. I want to be receptive to people, but that receptivity doesn't mean that I'm absolutely going to do it, but I want to be receptive to what people think. Because up till this point, by and large, I produce and put out what I think is cool and different and fun for me, and you guys seem to enjoy that. But I want to at least be open to you all's ideas. So with that, I'm going to say, Jay Perry says, hang the books on the wall higher. Yeah, they're up there pretty high. The girl can't reach them, and she's the one I'm most worried about. The boy really won't touch them. But I want to say thank you to you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have fun in this chat. Late night chat, I had a blast, and thank you for joining me.